You're listening to Winnipeg's Classic 107. My name is Simon Rusnak. Autumn may have officially arrived, but things are heating up at Jazz Winnipeg. Fall Fest, running this weekend from October 1st to 3rd, features a plethora of esteemed players in a variety of formats and venues. To tell us a bit more, I'm joined once again by Jazz Winnipeg Programs Manager Zachary Rushing. Hey, Zachary, welcome back to Classic 107.
Hi, Simon. Thank you for having me.
Always a pleasure. Well, this is quite the festival. 9 shows in 3 days, almost too much to get to in the interview, but let's talk about some of the highlights, shall we?
Absolutely.
So I do want to start off with one musical icon who looms, I think, most prominently in the programming. Not one, but 2 shows dedicated to the man known by one name, Sting. First off, tell us what inspired you to feature Sting's music.
Actually, our community sort of inspired me to feature Sting. I was looking for some sort of creative way to do programming that wasn't just putting on shows. We've done 2 years of supporting our local community in a very straightforward way, like displaying every artist that we can in town. And so we were just looking for an opportunity to come up with creative work for our musicians. And a quick Google search of musicians' birthdays turned up that weekend is Sting's 70th birthday, and it just made sense.
And I mean, you speak of the artists, and I mean, there is a real diverse group of performers in this tribute show. Tell us who's going to be singing.
Sure. So we have 5 singers on this show. We have the fabulous Jen Hansen, who is a Jazz Winnipeg favorite for a long time and a great singer who most people, I feel like, in Winnipeg know at this point. She's also emceeing for us on the Sting shows in the evenings. She'll be joined by Soul James, Ben Tamana, Ona Lu, Brandy Vizina. I think that's it.
Yeah,
That's
no, you
fine.
got it. I was counting along on my fingers, Zachary. Yeah, you got it. All backed up by Ego Spank. Some
Yeah.
familiar names in there, like you said. Many past Classic 107 guests. Great performers, all of them. I am curious though, how did everybody feel about doing a Sting tribute show? And I guess the biggest question: how did they decide who was going to be singing Roxanne?
You'll have to wait and hear who sings Roxanne, and they can share that story with you when it happens. Yeah, I'm really excited to hear all these different singers in the show. Everybody comes from such a different musical perspective. We have rockers and jazzers and hip hoppers and a country singer, and I mean it. They're all bringing their own unique flair to this program, and I just can't wait to hear what they offer.
So a tribute to Sting, October 1st and 2nd at the Rachel Brown Theater. As much as I'd like to keep talking about all things Sting, let's move on because there's lots to get through here. Before each of those Sting shows that takes place at 9:30 p.m., there's a show that will happen prior. And I want to start by talking about the show that is happening later today at the Rachel Brown Theater. John Gordon will be performing. Tell us about what this great saxophonist has been up to lately.
John recently released a new record. He has an octet record out that he has been writing and arranging for a number of years. I know it's been a bit of a dream project of his. He got to work with some really fabulous musicians in Winnipeg on that record. Jocelyn Gould is on that record, Will Bonis, I think Derek Gardner, Fabio Ragnelli. I mean, it's the who's who of who plays jazz in Winnipeg. So he's going to be out tonight supporting that show with a performance at Rachel Brown Theater.
It sounds like it's going to be a great show and great to give, I mean, just to see live performances again. I mean, all these artists have been so busy. I mean, he working with a lot of his colleagues at the Des Hotel Faculty of Music at the University of Manitoba and the jazz faculty there. And for them, I'm sure to be able to jam with an audience present, that's going to be really something to look forward to.
Absolutely agreed. I really keep thinking of the students as well. Like when you're that age and you're studying jazz as a young person, there's nothing better than seeing it happen live in action. So I think it's going to be a great opportunity all around.
No kidding. And speaking of Des Hotel Faculty of Music and grads, Curtis Noazad is going to be performing the next night on Saturday at 7 p.m. Tell us a little bit about what's planned there.
I don't know what Curtis has planned musically.
And that's
I know
the best
that
part. That's why you got to go check it out.
Absolutely. I know that he has a really wonderful band booked to play with him. I know that he has been living in New York City through this pandemic, riding up a storm, and has some new stuff to show for us, things we haven't heard before. And I know it's going to be a lovely hometown welcome for him, our OG Winnipegger who's found success abroad. I'm very excited to hear what Curtis brings.
Yeah, and of course a Jazz Winnipeg favorite too. I remember seeing him play a couple years back at Jazz Fest. I think that was maybe 2 years ago now, obviously, or if not three. But yeah, it'll be great to have him back in town. Take us through a couple of the other programs that are going on. Leaving the Rachel Brown Theater, there's some events that are happening at the King's Head Pub too, right?
Absolutely. So on tonight, Friday, we have a performance from Rihanna, who actually also is a U of M music faculty grad,
Yep.
really repping hard this festival. She's bringing her incredible, wonderful looping music that she does alongside some projections by a visual artist, and their Ruby Chopsticks, a drag performer, will also be there performing during her set. So a very eclectic, well-rounded artistic vision coming to us from Rihanna. And then the next night, tomorrow, Saturday, we have a blues night happening at the King's Head, featuring Curtis Newton and Romy Mays, a couple of our bluesier rocker folks here in town. And we wrap up our festival on Sunday with a jam session, a good old-fashioned jam session. At the King's Head, there's a really fabulous house band called Free Time, which is Carter Graham, Julian Bradford, and Kevin Waters. They'll be joined by Niall Cade, who is a great saxophonist who recently moved back to Manitoba from New York City for a pandemic and other reasons. They're going to play an opening set, and then we're all going to play and jam it out into the wee small hours. So it should be a good time.
Yeah. So if anybody is thinking to themselves, okay, I've got about 7 things to mark on the calendar. If they're looking for more details, they can visit jazzwinnipeg.com. Can you tell us a little bit about how tickets are working and any restrictions or public health guidelines that may be in effect for the shows?
Sure. As with all indoor venues right now, patrons must have proof of double vaccination to attend these events. Tickets are being sold online through our Eventbrite platform. Masks will be worn indoors. We have the option to be at full capacity for both of these events, and from sort of a public safety perspective, we're operating at about 2/3 capacity for all of these events, so that if social distancing is a concern of yours, that will still be a part of what is happening. I think that's the rundown. I think
Yeah,
that's it.
and I mean, there's really something for everybody. Like I said, 9 shows, 3 days. The Fall Fest is going to be absolutely fantastic. Zachary, thanks for taking the time to chat with me at Classic 107 today. Have a great Fall Fest.
Thank you. Looking forward to it.